Right, welcome back to Sport On. And of course, I had told you just before the break that you're going to be interacting with the 2025 Boston Marathon champion, Sharon Lokedi, who is live in Arizona in the United States. Sharon, how are you doing? I know it's about noon in Arizona. It's just exactly 2 weeks after you won Boston. I'm sure it's sunk in now. You've settled in well after your victory on Easter Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels good, honestly. As you said, the first week you usually don't feel like, oh, everything is just all over. And then the second week you're like, oh, okay. So it just starts to everything just becomes reality. But in a good way, I think it's been amazing 2 weeks.
Sharon, now that it's settled in, how does it feel to be Boston Marathon champion?
It feels good. It feels great. I'm really proud of this one. So yeah, just hearing people calling me a 2025 Boston Marathon champion, it just gives me chills, like really good chills.
And speaking of winning, let me start with maybe my moment of the whole race, which is your mother at the end. Was that planned? Was it planned that she'd be there at the end, or did they get her on? And how did it feel when you took the tip and then there she is?
I think usually they're just by the finish area. But at this point, I guess she was telling me this after, halfway through when they saw like the top three are like separated, so they go and bring them close to the finish line. And so they were just there waiting. And you can imagine how it feels just waiting for the finish. You never know like what position or anything. So she was just, by the time as you get closer, I think they bring them closer to the finish. And it was just so cool. Like, I am crossing the finish line and all I could see is just her running straight to me. And yeah, that was very, very special moment I get to share with her.
Let's talk about the race a bit, because you finally conquered something that you've been just falling short. I mean, you and Helen have had these battles for maybe, 3-4 races, where it's you and Helen, it's you and Helen. How did it feel to finally get one over her?
It felt good, definitely. She's a good person and she's also a very good competitor. So every time I'm competing with her, I feel like she gives me like this fire that keep burning. And every time she's always like has that kick towards the end. And I've always like walked in, I'm like, I still do walk on my last few kilometers because I'm still working on my finish. So it just was very nice this time that I get to like have that strength or like that speed towards the end. And I think that really helped me to get to win this year's Boston Marathon.
So Sharon, what did you do to prepare for those last maybe 3-4 kilometers? Because I felt like you looked like you had something left in the tank. And no matter what happened, it looked like you had done special preps just for the last 2-3 kilometers.
I think the big part was just having confidence in myself. Most of the time I get to those last kilometers and I'm like, so long as I'm in the top position, I'm fine. But this time I really wanted to give it in. And we had worked on like workouts where we're doing tempos of like, we'll try and finish the last few miles a bit quicker, like usually like pickups. So as you go, you just keep keeping the pace until you're like top speed. So yeah, just having that for the New York half and doing that same thing, I was very confident going into Boston Marathon and knowing that I could still do the same thing. It might not be the same as New York half, but it probably would be closer. So yeah, it just was like really just having those things and just being confident with my training and believing in myself those last few kilometers, I think helped me a lot.
Sharon, let's go back now to 2022. Of course, you're preparing for your first marathon, the New York Marathon. If you look at your journey so far, you've competed in 5 marathons, if I'm not wrong, you've won 2. Looking back into 2022, do you think that your trajectory of your career would have been at this level so quickly?
No. No, I definitely, it's one of those that you never, when you start, you're like, you don't know how far you can get or, things like those. And marathon is very different. You can be very fit or be ready to go this year and then next year is a different one. So I definitely am thinking the consistency that I've had, it's just been more of just having good training group, good training coaches, and just great support. And honestly, I feel like it's been a long time of just trying to figure out what works. And I'm glad that we found marathon and now it's working. And I really love training and I really love racing. So I think that helps a lot. And also just enjoying life and just being myself and, putting myself out there, not limiting anything.
I spoke to Lorna Kiplagat, the great Kenyan Dutch, and she told me the marathon must love you. You love it, but it must love you back. Like you have to find a connection. What do you think is the connection you have with it? Because clearly, your connection is working.
I honestly think it's just appreciating it because it's also very humbling. Like training and everything, it just gets like you have like 3 months of training and you just it has to be like an everyday thing. You have to be always like on it every single day. And there's a point that gets to it and you're like so tired and you don't really want to do it. So it's just like reminding yourself that you're doing it for a reason and you're doing it, to achieve something. And just enjoy it because at the end of the day, you don't want to force it. It's part of your job and it's the thing that the worst thing is like we chose to do this. So you can't really get out of it. So you just have to find the things that work for you and follow those and just be patient and be true to yourself.
Sharon, speaking about your training, you started preparing for the Boston Marathon 3 months prior. Help us understand, because you're based in the United States, you also train sometimes in Kenya. Help us understand how that structure is for you.
Most of my training, I've really been in Kenya. So this was different. This was a bit different. It was also in the winter here. So I had so many things going on. I'm like, the workouts were not the same as I had done before. But we had a mild winter, and I think it was just changing the mentality of like, okay, I can still do it here no matter what, and just being ready to like compete in that situation. And in a way, I think it helped me really see it in a different way, because I'm used to training with people in big group in Kaptagat. And yeah, this one I just had to bring that, think of myself like I'm there, or I'm here, yes, and I have all the support that I can, and yeah, just work with that.
Sharon, when we see you cross the line, we all celebrate, or we then criticize when someone doesn't win, and then we look at the figure that you win. But how much pain do you have to endure in the build-up to a marathon? Like, how tough is it for you to get ready for the 42K in Boston on a Monday?
Oh, so tough. You can even see that video. That was that day was freezing cold. Yes. It was very windy. You just have to go through these things that you're like,
how many degrees was it then?
I think it was 5 or something, or 4. But then it gets very, so you can even see him blowing and he was freezing. But it's like there's just so many things that come in. You can have a nagging injury or something that's just there. And, it's just you're just wanting to get to that start line. And it's you think of it, it's 3 months of training and only 2 hours and something of racing, and then that's it. So it's just, it's troubling, but it's also fun, and yeah.
Let's talk a bit about Paris last year, because you are a last-minute inclusion into the team. I spoke about it and I said I felt it was unfair to you for you to get into the team less than a month to the race. Was it frustrating that you were a reserve, then you're in the team, and then you finish 4th?
To start, yes, I was a bit frustrated because I was I needed more time. But then at that point, I'm now I'm in, so I don't have to really worry about the things that I already passed. So I have to focus on what's ahead. So we went straight into training, and I'm focusing on that. But back of my mind, I'm if I had enough time, I probably would have been different. But no matter what, no matter the result, I am so proud of that performance, and I'm happy that I still was able to participate and represent Kenya. I might not have gotten a medal or whatever, but it was still a really big performance and a really good showing. And yeah, hopefully, going forward, at least I have enough time and I can improve on that. And yeah.
So you've done 5 marathons. Which one is your 6? Which one is your most favorite? When you look at it, which is the one that gives you the most? Is it New York when you surprised yourself? Is it Boston where you finally got on over Helen? Is it that 4th place?
I'm proud of all of them, but I think New York opened a way. Like, it did open a different, like, perspective of, like, running for me and everything. So I'm really proud of that, because it gives me so much, like, to look forward and so much, like, confidence into, like, getting into this marathon training. And yeah, I feel like all of these races I've just had something that I'm so proud of. And yeah, so I can't really pick whichever, but I
diplomatic answer.
Very, very diplomatic answer. I personally think New York was unbelievable, because the look on your face was like even you didn't believe what you just done.
I would say Paris. Mine would be Paris, because it's last minute addition, Wakabi, and you still finish 4th. That's an achievement.
Anyway, now that we have time, what's your goal at the end of the year? Is it Tokyo? Do you want to go back to New York? Do you want to mix it up with people in Berlin and Chicago? What are you looking? I know it's early, it's only 2 weeks, but you know Kenyans, we're already looking forward.
True, but then my manager, I feel like he's the one to decide. But yeah, we have like a few ideas so far. So yeah, maybe in 2 weeks we'll know for sure. But for now, it's just getting back into swing of things, and yeah, hopefully by like maybe end of this month we'll know for sure where we're going next.
But staying on that point, I know you don't want to go to specifics after, of course, you consulted your team management, because obviously you've dominated mostly North America, and then you only had maybe just that one marathon in Europe. How would you compare North America and Europe in terms of road running as you prepare for the rest of your season?
I would definitely love to go and run outside of the US for sure. But for now, I think it's just worked so well that it's like it's like, oh, you're going to the other one. So, but I think racing in Paris last year, that was actually like, I was like, wow, I love it out here. And yeah, hopefully maybe before the end of this year, we'd at least have like a race out outside the US. And even if it's a half or like a 10K, I think it does make a difference.
Which one do you like more? Which one do you enjoy more? The classics, Boston, New York, or fast-paced, almost like a time trial? Talking Berlin, we're talking London, talking Chicago. Which one are you more at home in?
I mean, so I think that is, I'm going to be biased, but I've only done New York and Boston like 2 times, 3 times. So I can't really tell you about the other ones, but I really want to try the other ones and see. And maybe next year we can talk about it. And I can maybe have an answer.
So between racing, because I feel like New York and Boston is a proper race, like no pacemakers, no nothing. You guys figure it out from minute 1 to 2 hours, 20 minutes. But London, Berlin, you pretty much almost like racing against the clock. So I wondered which one you enjoy more, where you having to calculate every minute or where we are going flat out. Let's see who gets to the end first.
I honestly I think I loved when like Boston this time was just speed from the go, like it just went hard, and I really loved that one. So maybe hopefully like maybe when I go to like Chicago or Paris or like Berlin or somewhere else, it'll be the same. But I really, really want to run fast, and I want to get the time. So.
Speaking of running fast, what do you think about what's going on in women's marathon? Sharon, 2:09, 2:10. You saw Tigista Sefa in London. It's ridiculous the times you women are running now.
It is, and it's actually is like inspiring just when you see those results, because it makes you think like, anything is possible. If they can do it, I can do it. But maybe not 2:09 for me, but somewhere close to like 2:14. But yeah, even that one I think for sure. But it really is good just seeing like these women going out there and just defying it, like all the just wanting the best and crushing it. And yeah, I'm a big like cheerleader for them.
Sharon, what I sense from you, even from the first time we interacted, is that there's a level of just calmness and mental strength. Is it something that is part of your personality? Is it something that you've been able to have a team that helps you to have that level of calmness? Because you, at any given time, you're calm, cool, collected.
That no, you should see me before a race. Problem.
It's a different story.
But yeah, but I think it comes with like the person you are, and I think for me it's just who I am. Sometimes I can, and it's like when it might be different when I'm like not running and stuff, but it's just, I think it's a big part of who I am and how I grew up and the things that I've done and the life, life also gives you like so many things that you learn from.
Do you have, speaking of before a race, do you have a pre-race ritual? What do you do before a race? How do you get ready on the morning of the race?
I usually have like music on, depending. Sometimes like if there's so many of us, we just start like talking. And or if like there's a few of us, you just have like maybe music on and before we get to the tent. But when we get to the tent, we're like Kenyans, all of us just chatting and having like, just trying to like get out, like be less nervous and not worry about a lot of things.
What music are we listening to?
Depends. So most of the time I just like the quiet, like very, and mostly like I have gospel sometimes. Sometimes I will listen to like pop music, pop.
When you say gospel, is it English gospel? Is it local dialect gospel?
A local dialect for sure. Yeah. So I hear most of the time. It just has like a certain calmness with it. You just feel, it makes you very spiritual and very calm and relaxed.
Let's talk about women. We seem to be creating, there's a group that is growing, or there's a community growing of women marathonas in the US. So Sharon is based in the US, Edna based in the US, Helen is in the US. What's going on there? Is this just coincidence, or is there something that's making Kenyan women think like, we could try this abroad?
Honestly, I think it probably is different because for me, I think after school, once I graduated, I just wanted to like see what there is outside of running. But then I ended up still finding myself running. And then, so yeah, I just kept continuing. And then this, I guess it's worked perfect here because then I have, you have the management, you have the company here. So I think that's like big part of it. Example, like Helen, I think with like on running, she also has it like in Colorado and stuff. So I think that might play a big part of it, but also like we're just trying to kutafuta maisha, just trying to, and you're thinking about the future and yeah, so.
Sharon, something interesting I found out, Wakabi.
Yes.
Sharon actually likes netball.
Oh, nice.
Tell us about that's a different side of you that we didn't know, that you played netball at one point in your career.
I did definitely, but it's been a long time. As I told you earlier, like it's just, I haven't played it in a very long time. So, but yeah, I think it's a fun event, and yeah, they don't play it as much here, so you don't really see people like out, like, or you cannot find like courts to play in and stuff like that. So it's more like softball now, and like not even softball, sorry, tennis.
So do you go and watch other sports as well during your free time sometimes, just to when doing your downtime, I'm sure?
Yeah, I watch football, soccer. Sorry. Yeah, I watch a bit of that, and then I like bicycle races. Mm-hmm. I love those. I also have a friend of mine that's racing this weekend, and I just like I'm so excited to go watch it. It's like a completely different, and the adrenaline just gets you going, and I think it resonates a little bit with like marathon running.
So Sharon, when you look at you from where you've started to now, where are you going? What's your mountain top? What's the place? What's your peak? What's that one thing you're chasing?
I'm chasing a medal for sure, but then I'm also chasing, like, just to achieve something that I think for a long time I didn't see that was possible. And yeah, I just want to get into more marathon running. I also like want to be done with school. So I just have like all these things that even at the end of running, when I'm done running and racing and stuff, I will still want to be having something that I'm doing. And yeah, so I'm like focusing on like school a little bit right now, and then racing. But I want to like get into like all the majors, hopefully. Run fast. For sure, I really want to get a PB because sometimes, like, you know, when you like go down, like when they release the names and you can see yourself all the way at the bottom. Okay,
You want to bring it further up?
I need to improve that one. So that's for sure is like the next goal. And then yeah, keep like hopefully by the time like 2028, early 2028, I'll still be able to like go out and compete and be able to get in the team. And I definitely, yes. I think once I get a medal, I'll settle.
I've got two questions from what you've just said. One, why is it you didn't feel like you could do this running business all the way to the top? You keep saying you've been having to prove to yourself you can do it. And secondly, talk about studies. What are you at? What is that you're studying that you still feel you also want to finish it off?
As you know, like I feel like life, like when I started running, you just want, for me, I just want a scholarship and be done, like get to America and, you know, go to school and then be done and then start like, but that changed quick because then I started improving and I feel like for a long time I didn't believe in myself. I didn't, like there was no one, like in our family, we don't have anyone that ran or anything like that. So it's like I never like thought I could do it. I just thought it was just like something that, you know, it wasn't a talent or anything. But that changed quick when I started like really focusing on it and really putting so much attention in it and just loving it and enjoying it. So yeah, that's why it's like I think I can still achieve more and I want to keep doing that. So yeah, I just want to keep proving to myself that I can still do it. Two, like just my family and everyone that's looking up to me because I know for sure, like, we've all had a certain point in life where you do things and you're like, you know, whatever, I cannot, like, that's enough. So, yeah, just knowing that anything is doable and you can achieve it, I think that's been amazing. And I'm really looking forward to that and just keep achieving. As Kipchoge said, no human is limited. So I'm trying to go to that ladder. And then, yeah, school, I think because school, like, we run for a few years and maybe 10 years from now, and then I still want to have something that I do after I'm done running. And yeah, I'm looking more into like just making sure that those are like the things that I'm still comfortable by the time I retire. I can still do something because I don't want to go back to like trying to find like a job called FCC. You know how that takes long. And so yeah, just trying to do things that I know for sure is gonna help me or like set me up for after retirement.
Sharon Lokedi, thank you so much for joining us and giving us an idea of course, your reflections on the 2025 Boston Marathon and your season so far. We wish you all the best as you plan out the rest of your year.
Yes. Once I know, you guys probably would know. So,
thank you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sharon.
Bye.